Hi, and welcome to The Leader's Edge. I'm Emily Cheever with my co host, Georgia Donaldson. We are leadership coaches and facilitators, and through this podcast, we are on a mission to inspire leaders to sharpen their competitive advantage and make a positive impact in their organization and community. Today, we have the pleasure to welcome Robert Soverall to talk with us on the topic Insurance Worth
Mm,
More Than You Think. So I think it's possible that in our financial plans, some of us may look to insurance as a valuable option. Maybe some of us, though, might think of it as a cost or an unnecessary expense.
mhm.
So, wherever you are on that continuum, whether insurance necessary or insurance expense or burden, I invite you to stay with us and hear Robert out on this one. Georgia.
Okay, thank you very much, Emily. It's such a pleasure to have you, Robert. And for those of you who are watching us, it's our pleasure to have you. Now, over the last 2 decades, you've heard some words. If you've heard the words insurance, you've heard the words risk management, you've heard investment management, and you've heard governance and business planning. Guess which name comes to mind? Robert Soverall. And he's our guest this morning. So, Robert, thank you so much for joining us. Robert is the managing director of Republic Life Insurance Company Limited, and he is an experienced financial services executive. Robert, you have been in the field for over 20 years and you're talking about insurance with us today. Insurance worth more than you think. You have a passion for insurance, Robert. We would love for you to start out this morning to tell us why are you so driven to talk about insurance?
Okay. Hi, Emily. Hi, Georgia. Thank you for having me this morning. I am really happy to be here. And if I can share with you why I think insurance is important, it's because I believe there is a big gap. I operate in Trinidad, and we believe that there are a lot of people who are either uninsured or
Mm,
not insured at all. And it is a significant part of any financial plan. A lot of people think about insurance, and there are a lot of myths. People think that it is too expensive, people think that it's too complicated, or that it
mm,
is just not for me. And the truth is that it has to be part of any financial plan, because when the unexpected happens, you want to make sure that your family is protected. The people who rely on you, your parents, your spouse, your partner, your children, should something happen to you, they may be impacted, and you can do
mhm,
things today to mitigate the risk of any financial hardship should something happen.
So
mhm.
Robert, I hear you, and I think a lot of us we know that feel, right?
Yeah.
However, I also think that most of us feel like, eh,
Uh,
like some things. This is not going to happen to me.
yeah.
Well, it's just not going to happen to
I'm
me.
too young.
I will have, yeah, I'm young. I will put things in place.
Mhm,
I don't really think I need insurance. So I'm curious, like I suppose again from your experience, being in the field and your passion for this, tell us about some of those people that you may have met, maybe who
mhm.
might help bring this to life for us.
And the truth is, a lot of young people, they don't like to think about the unexpected happening.
That's true.
However, the truth is that that is the best time to plan. When you're young, that's when the premiums are the lowest. That is when you are in the
Oh,
best health. So you can lock in premiums at a rate that you can afford for the rest of your life, and they don't change.
mhm,
The other thing is
mhm,
that a lot of people think, well, I cannot afford it today. The truth is that you should start. If you can start with a small premium, you should take out a policy today. And then
mhm,
as you grow, you can increase the coverage. But it's important to start, because you're always putting it off, and you never
mhm,
have enough time or money, and you forget about it. So it's critical that you start and you take out life insurance early in your life. And as your need changes, it can grow with you thereafter.
mhm. So, Robert, we know that you have lots of stories. I'm sure that there are many families who you have helped. Is there
Yeah.
one that comes to mind that you want to share with us? The impact of insurance.
Georgia, the truth is that all claims have an impact on me, and that is when you
Mhm.
realize the importance of life insurance.
Yes.
Just last month, we would have adjudicated a claim for a lady. whose husband passed away. And one of her concerns, of course, was would I be able to stay in the house which we currently occupy?
Oh,
Because she could not afford to pay the mortgage installment on her income alone. So when we were able to, when I called her and advised her that the claim had been approved and the mortgage will be paid off in full, she actually cried on the phone because it's
oh,
one less thing she had to worry about. It doesn't, it doesn't make things any easier, but it's one less issue that you had to worry about. And that is when you realize that insurance can make a significant difference in people's lives, should something happen unexpected.
Yeah.
right.
So that's a powerful example because I think we don't think of, yes, we might put aside, yes, we might save and all of that. But of course, like, yeah, if the mortgage isn't paid, you know, then we have to move or we have to sell the property. Our lifestyles may change because we have one less income in the home. So I think, if heaven forbid, if this was the sole income earner, in the home.
Yes.
So, I feel like oftentimes, again, we don't always consider not being present
Yeah.
and thinking only of like wanting to spend now versus putting aside for something that may happen or is likely to occur because I mean we all have an expiry date,
Oh,
unfortunately.
yeah. Oh, yes.
So will happen at some point. So the question is, yeah, how can we think about that? So Robert, I think you shared some really good tips and ideas with us starting early. Any other tips or ideas you have to share with leaders, current leaders, existing leaders, even up and coming ones? What would you share with them in terms of getting involved and thinking of life insurance, especially if they don't have any?
I think what you need to, everybody's circumstance is different, and you need to consider should something happen to me, how will that impact the persons who depend on me? Do they depend
Yes.
on my income to live? Do they depend on my income to retain the roof that's over their head? Do they depend on my income to continue their tertiary education? And if it is that people are dependent on your income and would be impacted, there are steps that you can take today. You don't have to wait until you can afford the large premium. You can start with something small and everything helps. So I would suggest that people have a look at their current financial plan, determine risks they are exposed to or their family may be exposed to should something happen unexpectedly to them, and try to protect that so that you can continue to protect your family and take care of your family even if you are no longer around.
So,
Yeah.
Robert, I was thinking as you're talking, I'm an HR consultant, and in companies, HR managers sometimes talk to their employees about different things that impact them. And I can't recall for a very long time us talking to employees about life insurance. So, is that something that you do sometimes go into companies and help managers? How do you talk to your employees about insurance? Is that something that you do?
Yes, we do that all the time. We talk to our own staff about their
Right.
individual needs, but we also go into companies and we can help them to understand the importance of insurance. What we find as well is that the people who are probably most vulnerable are the ones least likely to have life insurance because for
Oh, wow.
many people, life insurance is seen as a way of managing wealth, not necessarily as a mitigant against risks. And what we
Uh-huh.
have found is that because of the way insurance is sold, insurance tends to be sold to higher income earners because that maximizes the income of an agent.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it means that a lot, and that is natural, that is normal, but it means that a large percentage of the population, probably the most vulnerable, do not get access to, they're not offered insurance, and they may think that insurance is not for them. So we want to make sure that insurance is affordable and accessible to everyone, because very often, as I said, the ones that are probably most vulnerable are the ones that do not have life insurance at present.
Oh, that's unfortunate though. So we need to go on a campaign then, Robert, to make sure that
Yeah.
it is much more widespread and accessible to the persons who need it most.
Yeah.
Yes,
But
yes,
I think
Georgia. So what we would like to share with people is that you do not need to start with a large premium. Whatever you
Right.
can afford,
That's the
you can
first thing.
start you can start where you are at, and as your
Right.
life changes and as you grow, you can
Ah,
increase your coverage to suit your circumstances. So the main
that's
thing we're trying to do right now is to make sure that insurance is accessible to everyone and is affordable to everyone.
that's an
And in that
excellent
way,
one.
Yeah.
Start
And I
right.
think and I think what you're saying from your perspective and your position within the sector is that this is not just a wish that you're saying. This is something that is actually currently available now. So people
yes,
can go online, they can go
correct.
look up. There are so many, I mean, like there's a plethora of insurance companies, and they can look because the point is it's not a wish that you're saying that it is or it can be accessible to all. It is already available. The question is maybe people can take a more proactive stance and go check it out, look at the rates, look at what is available, and think about actually putting something in place if you don't have something, especially especially younger people. But it doesn't mean that if you're on the older side of young that you can't that you can't you shouldn't think about it also. So if you had missed the boat, so to speak, you're kind of late in coming, it's still not too late to start. And I think that's also something that you're saying inherently in there,
Yes,
Robert.
so Emily, that's one of the great things about digital distribution. So a lot of insurance companies are going the route of digital distribution to supplement the agency model. And with
Right.
digital distribution, it has significant benefits. It reduces the cost, so it's more affordable to everyone. Um, Easier onboarding. You don't have to wait to meet with an agent. You can do things at your time when it's convenient in an evening in the comfort of your home. You can start with smaller policies. Because it's digital, you can take out lower coverage amounts, which are more affordable. And then, finally, it's just more convenient for everyone. So,
Right.
as we progress, the all distribution models, we are actually enhancing it by offering a different channel where you can go online, you can do the research yourself, and you can purchase a simple product in the comfort of your home, which is affordable.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the
Good.
approval and everything is done online. Like you don't have to leave your house.
Yeah, that's
Everything
I'm
right
correct.
now
asking.
at Republic Life, we have introduced a digital distribution model where you can
Uh-huh.
purchase a policy within 10 to 15 minutes without seeing an
Wow.
agent. There's no medical.
And without
You,
leaving, so they don't obviously have to leave your house. 10 to 15
Wow.
minutes.
Okay.
everything online. Identity verification is online, digital payments, and we issue your contract electronically. So within 10 to
That's
15 minutes, you can purchase a
outstanding.
simple life insurance policy without
Yeah,
interacting with another human being.
That's
yeah,
outstanding, Robert. And Emily, since I'm on the younger side of old, that appeals to me. I like that, Robert. That's fantastic. And
yeah,
we're
And Georgia,
talking
what
about
we have done, because
yes.
because we're offering it digitally, we
Uh-huh.
ensure that it is totally transparent. So all of
Ah,
our contracts are available online. We
okay.
have, where you can do a quick quote, so you can actually just go on and determine how much you can afford and see what policies you can afford, and you can actually read all the terms and conditions before you proceed to make the purchase.
Right, right.
awesome,
So forward
awesome.
thinking. Yeah, Emily, I know we're going to wrap. And we're talking about life insurance. Maybe another time we will talk about other types of insurance because you're driving your car on the road, you need to make sure it's insured. We say in Trinidad that God is a Trini, so we don't have hurricanes, but we need to have our houses insured. So many other things, but very important that you're talking to us today about life insurance. Emma,
Yeah.
over to you to wrap.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Georgia. Thank you, Robert. This has been, I think, a really good conversation. It's nice to have these points of interjection where we just sort of stop and check ourselves. I
Yes.
mean, I think Robert, you mentioned, and I mentioned also the word financial plan, and we had people from the investment sector come on our show here and talk to us about investments too. And some of us still don't have a financial plan. So if financial plan is sounding weird to you, if insurance is sounding weird to you, or even if it's not sounding weird, but you still haven't really taken the time to engage with some of these things, we again encourage you to
Yes.
do that. So as leaders, we must lead ourselves first
Yes.
and be those, be the persons who can show people the way. So if you don't know reach out. There's so many resources available. Check out the online options like Robert mentioned,
Yes.
because it is really easy and accessible. So that's really the call to action there,
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
involved, think about your finances, be the person who leads yourself on that financial part of your overall pie.
Yes.
Think
Yes.
about it.
And Robert is a lovely gentleman. He'll be more than happy to talk to you.
I'm sure.
Yes. More than happy. But
Definitely, Georgia. So, Emily, Georgia, thank you so much for having me. And if I can leave your viewers with one message, is
Yeah.
to review your financial plan today. Start today. Don't defer it any further.
Yeah. Start
perfect.
today. Thank
Start
you.
today. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you
have a
so
great day, everyone.
Take care.
All right.